Why, hello there guys, welcome back. So in this video we are going to add generated content and visual form feedback to our form. You may notice my voice sounds a little different. It's because I'm sick. And not sick like cool sick, but sick like blah sick. But we're not going to let that get in the way of us moving forward and learning more about web development, so let's get started. Now, with generated content, unlike other pseudo elements, which simply select parts of existing web page elements, the before and after pseudo elements enable us to insert content into web pages using style rules. So we're actually adding content in our CSS instead of our HTML. And what we're going to do down here in this form is we're going to put that asterisk that we're used to seeing in forms for the fields that are required, and then we're going to add visual form feedback that will turn the field green or blue depending on if it's filled out correctly, not filled out at all, and so on. So very neat. So to do this, we're going to jump into our CSS rules here, and we're going to scroll down to our form rules. So let's go here, we'll look at our comments to find where we're supposed to go. There's our main content. Form styles, here we are. So let's go in here. We're going to put this below our label styles. Here we go. I'm going to just stick it right here below my contact info label style. And I'm going to add a label colon before. That's important because that's how we identify the pseudo element. And there's no space in between the label and the colon and the before. It's all one longer word. And then we're going to put in the classification that we use, which was contact info. And it's the paragraph colon before. And we're going to open that up. So we'll do a content colon, and then within quotes we're going to put the asterisk. It does need to be in quotes or this will not work. And I'm going to put a space here. And this is so that there's a space between the asterisk and the form field itself. Otherwise they would be very crowded. And then I'm going to end my rule with a semicolon. And then I need to identify what color that content's going to be, and I am going to make it red, and then a semicolon. Now this pseudo element before means that we're going to put this symbol before the element, so in this case before the label. So let's go ahead and save this and see what this looks like so far. I'm going to go in and refresh, and you'll see it applied the red asterisk just like we wanted, but since we went in and we applied it to all the labels, as well as the contact info classification, it applied it to everything. So now we're going to want to go in and remove it from the fields that we don't want to require. So to do that, let's jump back into our CSS, and below the new declaration that we created, and we're going to add a .add info because that's the classification for the additional information, label colon before, and then a comma, and then the other classification we've used is video info label 4, and we'll open that up. If you find that this doesn't work, check your spacing. You should have a space between the class and the label colon before, but you should not have a space between the label colon before. This should all be one word. And then there's a comma, space, classification, space, and then all one word label colon before. Can't stress that part out enough because in my classes when students make errors, it's almost always because of not including the space or including a space when they're not supposed to. And then for the rule here, it's going to be content colon space, and then we're just going to do quotes. Basically we're saying we want nothing there if it belongs to these classifications. So now let's save this and go in and refresh. And ta-da, look, the bottom red asterisk went away just like we wanted, and we just kept the red asterisk next to the contact information. Very neat. So that's adding generated content. So now let's add some visual form feedback, which means that we want these fields to change color when they're being interacted with. So let's go back into our styles here, and below the rule we just created, let's just hit enter, and then we're going to type in input colon valid, which means if it's either not populated or it's populated correctly, it's valid. And we want that to be green. So we're going to do a background hyphen color, and then we're going to put in a green color here, D1F4BD colon. Nice, I'm going to save that. And then finally, whenever someone's clicking on it to populate it, I wanted to have it change a different color as well. So that would be input colon focus, comma, and remember we have that text area as well, so text area colon focus. Open that up, And then let's make that a background color, and we're going to do a blue color here, like a light blue. And that'll be hash CCE5EF : So let's save what we just made and take a look. And right away you notice the fields changed green. Now on some browsers, when it's not populated at all yet, it will just be white and it won't turn green until they populate it, which is great. But others, it's considered valid until it's filled out and interacted with. So this is fine. And so notice when I click on it, it turns blue. Very cool. That's exactly what we wanted. Now, as far as invalid, how that works. Let's say I am going to, instead of putting the email with the @ symbol like I'm supposed to, I put just 3 letters and I try to get out of it. And then look what happened. It's invalid. There's a red border around it and it's no longer green. That is how we add visual form feedback. And that's all we're going to do in this video. In the next video planned, we're going to add a gradient and we're going to do some animation, which is very exciting. So I encourage you to subscribe so you make sure you can capture that one. Until then, I hope you're happy, I hope you're healthy, and I will catch you later.